Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be talking about funds of knowledge. And I'm going to be focusing on this big question: how can educators identify and utilize the funds of knowledge that students bring from their homes and communities in the classroom? So first and foremost, what are funds of knowledge? Funds of knowledge refer to a student's academic and personal background knowledge, their life experiences, their social knowledge and skills, and their cultural knowledge. I have a few specific examples of what this could entail, but it's just going to be any knowledge that the students are coming to class with that they've acquired, maybe through historical family knowledge or through their parents' jobs, through their friends, through their community, or through their personal interests. It's going to be any knowledge that the students possess that's relevant to them. So why are funds of knowledge important to education? So it's important that a teacher gains a better understanding of their students because it allows them to have a better understanding of how to engage, include, and even learn from the students. And this last part right here, learn from the students, is why I think the concept of funds of knowledge is special, because it's not assuming that the teacher should be coming to class and relaying a bunch of information for the students to soak up. It's assuming that the students are coming to class with a body of knowledge that's important to them, that even the teacher can learn from. And then funds of knowledge are also important because it allows for students to feel a deeper connection, or utilizing the funds of knowledge allows students to feel a deeper connection to the learning materials, as doing so makes the content more culturally and tangibly relevant to the student. So I remember all the time in school there were students that were asking, why am I learning this? It's not relevant to me. I'm never going to use it. And utilizing the funds of knowledge aims to get around this obstacle so that the students do feel a connection to the learning materials. And then another thing that's important to the concept of funds of knowledge is trying to transform this teacher-student relationship from one that's single-stranded to a multi-stranded relationship. So a single-stranded relationship is one where the teacher and the student simply have one label for one another, just teacher and student. But a multi-stranded relationship is one where they have multiple labels for one another. The teacher could maybe be a coach, a mother, a cook, or a fellow volunteer to the student. When you have these multi-stranded relationships, you have a better understanding of one another and you humanize one another a lot more than with a single-stranded relationship. So the steps for implementing the funds of knowledge into a classroom. Step 1 is going to be you gather information about the individual students. So you could do this through formal assignments such as an essay that describes family history or a project that does the same thing. Or you could do it in class through before, during, or after class with discussions with the students. And then you can also try to interview the family of the student and get to know them as well. This could be through parent-teacher conferences or calling, texting the family. And you can even do household visits where you really get to know the culture and the everyday life of the student. But regardless of whatever route you take to gather this information about the students, you should refrain from relying on bias or stereotypes. So here I have a couple of examples of graphic organizers you could use to get to know the students. This could be an assignment where you're just trying to get information about the student from the student. This could be something that you fill out during a home visit. And here are just some of the examples I stated on the last page of how information can be gathered. And then step 2 for implementing the funds of knowledge in the classroom is you're going to try to connect these funds of knowledge that you've gathered to the curriculum. So if possible, you want to get the student involved as well as their family. Let them know you care and value their knowledge. And just try to make the curriculum relevant to them. So example 1 of how this has been implemented. This is from the article Funds of Knowledge for Teaching Using a Qualitative Approach to Connect Homes and Classrooms. It's from that article. And in that article, a teacher named Kathy and an anthropologist did a home visit for a student named Carlos, and they uncovered a lot of good information about him, such as he spends most of his summers in Mexico. His parents are involved in the import and export of major appliances between the US and Mexico, and he often sells candy from Mexico, as well as anything else he can get his hands on. So the teacher was able to translate this information into a lesson that was relevant to Carlos, one where Mexican and American candy were compared and contrasted, a lesson that taught the students how to make Mexican candy, taught them how to market the candy, and it enabled them to sell their candy at a school event. So all of this would be stuff that Carlos is interested in. It went along with his interests in economics and entrepreneurial skills. So example 2, this is going to be from the article Funds of Knowledge Toolkit. This is where a teacher did a home visit for an English language learner student named Ruby, and the following information was uncovered. So Ruby's family has a garden in their backyard, and Ruby's mother cooks cultural dishes such as plátanos con frijoles y crema. So using this information, the teacher could teach a lesson on how food grows and makes its way to the dinner table. And this would be relevant to Ruby given her family's background in gardening and cooking. And then I just wanted to throw something in here about high school biology because that's what I'm going to be teaching. And I got my example from the Funds of Knowledge as Framework for Science and Science Teaching and Learning article. So the standard that I would be using is develop and use models to explain the interdependency and interactions between cellular organelles. So the assignment is that students take a certain organization or club or group of people, and they make an analogy between this group of people, their roles between one another in that community, and then they're going to connect it to the roles within a cell. So thinking back to my high school biology class, I remember there were a lot of different students that were in organizations, clubs, and if they weren't, they were still part of our really tight-knit community, and they had their own specific role. So one student that I had in mind when I was picking this assignment out was a girl named Michaela. She was the commanding officer of our JRTC program, and she had a vast understanding of all the roles that would be taking place in the JRTC program, as well as just the roles in the military. And I think she would have done a great job of connecting those different roles to the roles of organelles within the cell. So to conclude, I'm going to take it back to our big original question, which was, how can educators identify and utilize the funds of knowledge that students bring from their homes and communities in the classroom? So educators can do this by gathering information about the students with emphasis on the knowledge that they bring to the classroom. And then educators should attempt to relate their funds of knowledge to the curriculum. And here are my references. Y'all have a great day.